Hello crafty friends, welcome to another day of Die Cut December 2025. Let's see what style of die the random number generator is going to choose today. 60. Photo corners, right. Right, I've got 4 different styles of photo corners and I'm going to cut them out of this scrap of paper just to see what they look like. So these have little embossed lines that you can just fold them along to make the corner. I've folded all these up, so let's have a little look at them. This one would go on the corner like that. It's got a nice little design there. There's another one with a pretty design on it. This one is just a basic corner. And then this one has got a slit in it, so I think you put it like that, so it goes on there like that, or you could do it the other way and have it like that. But how should I use these on a card? Let me have a little think. So I'm going to cut these out of copper foil cardstock. It's a matte copper, and I think I'll cut them out twice, so I've got 4 of each. So I've got my copper photo corners there, ready to rock and roll. And I think I'm going to create a panel that I can attach with photo corners. So I've got a piece of linen textured white card here, and I'm going to stamp on it with this outline floral stamp. I'll give it a dusting with anti-static, anti-moisture, anti-grease powder, aka talcum powder, because I'm going to stamp this in black, but then I'm going to heat emboss it to seal it. This is VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It's a pigment ink, it's slow drying, so it'll hold on to the embossing powder easily. It's also great for silicone stamps, which is what this one is. This embossing powder is Clear Gloss Superfine from Wow. So this will stick to all the little details, and once it's cooled and set, the stamped image will be waterproof. So now we have a really deep black waterproof stamped image, slightly glossy, slightly dimensional. To colour this, I'm going to go over it with water just to make it nice and moist. Ready for a bit of colour. So I've got a nice light brown tan colour here, and I'm going to use this to just add a bit of, I suppose, vintagey paper feel to the background. Don't want to go too heavy. It is curling up, but that's okay, it'll flatten out as it dries. Got some paper towel, and I can use that to mop up colour from any areas where it's too dark or where I don't want it. So I'm taking it off the flowers mostly, and I'll give that a dry. This is, I think I said, linen textured paper. It's not a watercolour paper or a mixed media paper, but it does handle a little bit of water, so we can get away with that. Now I'm going to add a bit of pink, and I'm going for a loose watercolour. I'm not trying to stay within the lines. Just add a watery, blobby mixture to these flowers here. We could add maybe a little bit of an orange, not too much, just adds a little bit of variation. And that's those flowers. And I think I'll go for yellow for these flowers. Again, blobby, scribbly, escaping from the line work. It doesn't have to be perfect. Makes it look a bit arty. And again, I think we'll use that same orange to add some colour to those. Got this green, so a nice light green. We'll add that to the leaves. And I'll add a bit of a dark green as well. And these berries on the end of the little sprigs. I think I'll just add some red to those. Again, not trying to stay within the lines. And I'll dry that with my hairdryer again. What I'm doing now is adding some more colours, following the leaves, the petals, just to add a sense of depth by adding a little bit of darkness. And another dry. I'm just going to take a little bit of tissue and use it to mask the central area of my flowers, because I want to do some spattering, but I don't want to get them on the whole picture, just kind of around the edges. And I'll pick up some of the colours that we've already added and spatter those on for a fun artistic effect. Carefully remove the tissue, and I think that's worked fine. So I want to cut this out, and I think I'm going to use this double-stitched rectangle die. I think that's the right size. This, I think, don't know, might be a bit big for what I want today. So I'm going to use this larger one because I can always use a smaller one if this is too big. So let's see which ones will look good on here. So that's the one with the scalloped edge. That's the twiddly edge. That's your standard, straight edge. And that's the one with the slit in it. I'm thinking this twiddly one for this panel. Before I add the corners though, I want to just go around the edge of this with some Vintage Photo Distress Oxide, just to kind of age it a little bit. Yep, having that. I'll just give it a wee buff to lighten it slightly. And I can also give it a bit of a wipe with a damp baby wipe, and that will lighten it slightly if it's a bit dark. I'm going to add tape runner right up to the corners. I'm also going to put a little spot of glue on the underside of my photo corners so they'll stick to the front of the card panel. So the sticky on the back should hold the back flaps in place, and these will stick also to the front, so it should be well secure. Got a bit of spare sticker release paper here, so I can put this on here while I work on the card blank, and I'll be able to peel it off again. Actually, I'm going to mount this, now it's on photo corners, on a piece of black cardstock, because I think it needs a black border. And I'll trim that down. And we'll pop some tape runner on the back again and attach that to the front of a card. And all it needs now is a sentiment. So I've got this little die cut hello here. This is, I think, a Julie Hickey foilable. I'm not going to foil it, I'm just going to keep it black and white. And there's a nice little nook there that it will fit in. So I'm happy with that. I like the photo corners, I think they work well there. Now I just need to think about what to do with these. So stick around and I'll show you what I did with the remaining photo corners. Right, through the magic of video editing, here is the second card. And for this one, I stamped, heat embossed and watercoloured 2 more of these. And then I used a stitched square die to cut out 3 squares from different areas. Unlike this one, I matted them on black before adding the photo corners. With this one, I added the photo corners, then matted it on black, just for something different, and I rather like the way that's ended up. And then I added my squares I started with this top one here, popped it pretty much as far up as I could get it with still having a little white border on those two sides. Then I added this one, matching up the pattern so that it kind of looks continuous. Then I thought I'd leave a little gap, kind of like breathing space. And then I popped the third square down here, again, so it's almost continuous with this flower. I snipped off the overhanging bit and then added it in a different orientation on this side, and you wouldn't really know that because the image over here isn't sort of directional, there's not as much, but it kind of completes the image, I think, the front of the card having something coming in from the side here. For a sentiment, I wanted something bold that would stand out amongst all that colour and pattern and copper, so I chose a You're the Best from my stash of sentiments and added that across there. With both of these cards, having the copper foil cardstock folding around the back actually sort of makes a bit of a lump at the corner, which isn't a problem, but if you wanted something a little bit less lumpy, you could do one of two things. You could mount your squares, rectangles, whatever panel or image you're going to use for your image on some foam tape so that these bits, the corners, are lifted off and just the back of the image is stuck to the card. Then you won't get such a sort of undulatingness to it. The other thing that I'm thinking that might possibly work is chopping your photo corners up a bit. So I've got some copper here, I've put some double-sided sticky on the back, and I'm going to cut a corner. And now I'm going to cut, instead of folding along those embossed lines, I'm going to cut. So I'm going to remove the flap that goes around the back, take off the release paper so it's sticky, and then you could just add it on top rather than folding it underneath. You can run an edge beveling embossing tool along those cut lines to make them look a bit more die cut, and actually I think that looks really nice. That might be a better way of adding corners. Now let's have a think. I wonder if I can remove these just as an experiment. So I've taken the flappy bits off. I'm going to dip this in glue, take off the excess, and then stick that on there like that. I'll try that on this one as well. Oops, might have to recut these. So what I'm going to do with this one is take off all the corners and then just add half a corner, the front half, not the back half. And that way it will be flatter, I think. And I will take some photos once I've done that. There you go, that's 2 cards created with photo corner dies. Of course, if you haven't got any photo corner dies, you could always hand cut something similar. They're quite simple shapes, or you could use actual photo corners that you've got from a stationery or crafting shop. Just adds a little bit of something different on the corner of your panels and pictures on the front of your card. Right, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hope it's given you plenty of ideas. If it has, do let me know in the comments and leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see some more die cut December videos, then do subscribe and ring the notification bell. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.